Welcome. Hey, Ben.
I just want to ask you if it'd be all right to ask her to start a courtship.
Today we're answering questions related to relationships, courtship, and saying I do.
Love you so much.
Anna, will you marry me?
It's the Duggar Guide to Love.
Don't be scared of courting if it's a new concept to you.
Courting, what's that?
Good to see ya.
My definition of courting would be dating with a purpose.
I think courting is a wonderful idea.
This is the 21st century.
I think it's important to go to the girl's parents.
If someone had asked my parents for permission to date me, I would go out on the date, but there wouldn't be a second one.
Wow.
I don't know what to say, Lucas.
I will demonstrate.
Oh, that's awkward. Side hug is awkward.
Don't go anywhere without a chaperone.
It's awkward enough to be on a date. To have a chaperone, it would just make it more awkward.
Our children decided that they're gonna wait to have contact until they're married.
The first kiss on the first date. It's unrealistic to think someone gonna wait till they wedding day to kiss.
It's the Duggar Guide to Love.
We know our family does things a little differently when it comes to relationships, so we thought we'd answer some of those questions when it comes to courting, relationships, and love.
I love you.
Don't be scared of courting if it's a new concept to you. It's definitely worth it.
Courting, what's that?
I've heard of it, but it's kind of like an outdated thing. Like courting it's like something that you do when you wear full-length dresses or something.
I think courting is more geared towards a certain religion, and dating is like preference, maybe.
I've never heard of courting.
Courting is like where you like someone and you get to know them.
Morning.
Good morning.
These paintings are awesome. You see like the way they paint the light.
My definition of courting would be dating with a purpose.
How's it going?
Hey, good. Even better now that you're here.
Oh,
Love you.
I love you too.
I've heard of courting before. I've just heard the idea that if you're gonna court someone, it's the idea that you would have the intention of marriage in mind. So you're courting someone to get married, which seems old-fashioned to me, or at least in my mind, thinking of being an adult. But it's also a sweet concept to think about.
The purpose of courtship is to get to know an individual, but also get to know their family in a safe setting.
Wow.
Dating's, maybe you two go out together, but then courting's more incorporating of the family because you talk to the parents and you're with them more often and stuff. And so that's an interesting way to go about it. It's kind of cool.
You get to know each other in a group setting, and you're more communicating and talking about your life and the other person's life instead of just hugging and kissing and physical contact.
Right.
We dated.
We dated.
Yep.
Most definitely. We dated. We didn't court.
yeah.
Not for long.
It's coming into this knowing that, I am thinking about this person as a future spouse.
Before you get engaged, you court and, you're first you're friends and you court, then you get engaged and you get married. Yeah, and then once you get married, you're best friends forever. Yep.
One of the dangers of courtship is that it makes an assumption immediately at a pretty young age that marriage is the next step. Depending on the person and their family, sometimes marriage is a good, healthy step, but there are many times it isn't.
One of the neat things about courtship is two people trying to stay pure. You haven't entered into any of the physical side, and so it is easier to say no, and not all courtships end in marriage, and that's okay.
I'm not sure what the difference between dating and courting would be, except that maybe courting is just taking it slower.
But the difference is that with dating, it's usually unsupervised, spending time together, which a lot of times leads to physical contact, which could lead to problems. With courting, it is kind of an old-fashioned definition of the way things used to be.
I think courting is a wonderful idea. I encouraged it with my oldest children, and my son, who's 29 now, actually did court his girlfriend before he married her.
It's really more of an emphasis of saying, okay, this is something serious. We're not just hanging out. We actually have, a goal here, and that is to find out whether or not we're going to be compatible for each other.
I've never asked a girl's father to date his daughter. No.
I think it's important to go to the girl's parents before you go straight to the girl and just have their blessing on the relationship. Because, I mean, it's that concept of honoring your father and mother.
Most of the people I dated, they're probably for quite some time before they even came home to meet mom and dad. Because if I ever brought them home to meet mom and dad, that means it was a pretty serious relationship, yeah.
Welcome. Hey, Ben.
How's it going?
Good. Come on in. Hey, Jess, look who's here.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, we're gonna just talk a minute, okay? Hey, Michelle. Hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Sure.
Am I invited? I guess if a guy approached me, like, and asked if he could, like, court me or whatever, without talking to my dad first, and if he was a guy I really liked, I'd just tell him, hey, go talk to my dad, you know? He's not that scary. He's awesome.
If someone had asked my parents for permission to date me or take me out, I would probably comply because that's a very sweet gesture and very respectful. But at the same time, honestly, I might be a little turned off by it because you're already trying to establish this relationship with my parents that I'm not even sure that I want you to have. So I would go out on the date, but chances are there wouldn't be a second one.
Well, what's on your mind?
Well, you know, me and Jess have been texting for, you know, a while, and I was wondering if we could make it official, if I could ask her to, you know, make an official courtship.
Wow. What do you think, Mom?
For a father, it shows a lot of character for a guy to be able to come up to him and ask him.
I have asked the girl's father if I could take his daughter out on a date, yeah. It's respectful and honest, and you could kiss up a little, too.
What do we have Ben ask Jessa?
I think that would be great. That would be
You wanna get her?
sweet.
I think it's important for a guy that's interested in a girl to approach the girl's father to see if father would allow this.
I think it would be awesome if guys would still ask their dad or my dad to go on a date with me. I think that would be really cute.
I think the respectable thing to do is to go ask the girl's dad to get his approval. That's just the old-fashioned way. I'm old-fashioned, and I think that that's a good thing to do.
Hey, Jess. How you doing?
Well, we've been praying and talking for a little while, and I was just wondering if you wanted to make it official and if you wanted to officially court me.
Yes.
Hey, I'll tell you what. You can go ahead and give him a side hug if you want to.
I do feel it's a good idea for the boyfriend to ask permission to get engaged or to marry the girl. I don't know about dating, though. I don't think it's necessary for dating. I think just for marriage.
I did ask permission of Jim Bob before I courted Jill. I just want to ask you first if it'd be all right to ask her to start a courtship. I felt that was important because at that time, he was her protector.
You know, it's a big step.
As a guy, I wanted to kind of follow his lead and ask him if I could pursue a courtship with Jill.
Jill is fine with this, then Mom and I will be fine with it. So I tell you what, why don't you ask Jill, okay?
Thank you so much.
Two people, they think that they're going to be compatible for life and really going at it with marriage in mind.
If it's all right with you, I'm interested in starting an official courtship, so. Would you be
Yeah,
interested
that
in
would be
courting?
awesome.
Yeah?
Totally.
Yeah. I've got something for you.
I actually just started dating a guy who went to my dad to ask permission to date me before we actually officially started to date. I personally thought it was really sweet just because he's my dad, I'm his baby girl, and to have his permission and to actually see his respect for the guy I am dating, that's huge for me.
Don't be afraid to get involved in your kids' relationships.
My parents have no idea about my dating life.
As far as physical contact goes, just kind of make a line.
Where is that line?
Don't go anywhere without a chaperone.
I think it's okay if you're 12.
Today we're sharing the Duggar rules of side hugs, chaperones, and saving your first kiss for marriage.
Don't be afraid to get involved in your kids' relationships.
As a parent, I feel like it's my responsibility to make sure I know exactly what's going on.
My parents have no idea about my dating life. I prefer to keep that to myself.
I guess for about half of our courtship, we group texted with my parents on there, and that was usually just when we were asking questions about things that I thought would be interesting for my parents to be able to get to know him better too.
I think in today's world, there's probably some electronic courtship going on, but I think where the danger would come in that is when a guy is talking about marriage or just praising a girl, trying to win her heart without even the parents knowing about it or anybody else knowing about it, when the guy's character really hasn't been checked out.
4 months after we met, we really started talking, and we were texting and talking to each other, and I really got to know you better. And yeah, definitely in the first few months of our courtship, for sure, I was like, yeah, this is the man I want to marry.
My parents don't really check text messages. They're like, maybe they'll drive us places and they'll kind of hang out of the way but give us time together. But they're not too involved, but they're usually around.
I guess I'll sit in the middle. That's so... Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of small.
Are there 3 seatbelts in here? Yeah. Oh, good. Perfect. I ended up sitting in the middle so that he and Jessa were not like shoved on top of each other. So then, therefore, I was almost shoved on top of Ben. And it was quite comical.
So have y'all like ever been to Hot Springs before?
Yeah, when Anna and I were courting, smartphones weren't really the standard of the day. And so I'd call up there and, you know, they had the little hum on the cordless phone and all these kids are like, what's that, you know? So it's like, it's just, you know, it was a different time. And now you have this whole virtual presence type thing where you can just get on there and you have, you know, like Jill and Derek, I mean, thousands of miles away, all the way on the other side of the world, and you can still talk.
Hey, Jill. How's it going?
Hey, going good. How are you?
Both of us are very grateful for technology because it played a huge role in our relationship, starting long distance.
Well, it's been great talking with you. Talk to you
As always.
soon.
Enjoy. Bye, Jill.
Bye.
I think I noticed in that first video conference call just his compassion and caring spirit, yet also he's very strong in what he believes in, standards and convictions, and so that, like, the character is really what drew me to him.
Oh, Jill, we're so happy for you. He seems like such a neat guy.
When we were growing up, you know, you had the landline phones, you might talk a little bit, but you would meet somewhere, and whereas now, I mean, truly, I have a son that, you know, they video chat and talk on their phones and all that so much that it's just totally different. They actually kind of consider that a date, I think.
The instant communication with the video chat and email and text is just amazing.
Yeah, it was the information superhighway really sped things up.
My parents were not involved with our dating.
No.
Not at all.
Well, I think that my parents were a little bit involved in the beginning, but later on they let me do my own thing.
We went on several dates when we were courting. I mean, we went on a double date with your parents.
And I think that's one of the differences of courtship versus dating, is that there's not like one-on-one dates just like us going out right now at this point.
Today, Michelle and I are taking Ben and Jessa on a double date, and we're going to play mini golf. What'll be fun is for our team to play their team.
There you go.
What do you think? I thought it would be a great opportunity for Jess and Ben to kind of discuss their boundaries that they're establishing in their relationship with Michelle and I.
Good job. Have y'all talked about kind of rules of engagement?
Yeah, we have.
It's better to be maybe a little bit too safe, a little bit too strict, than not be safe enough and have regrets later. I was thinking maybe like just kind of make a line of, you know, we don't want to go beyond this.
Where is that line?
Well, we're thinking maybe like, you know, we give each other side hugs like when we greet each other and stuff. As far as physical contact goes, that's probably good enough for now.
You know, I think it was a great conversation. We were able to talk to Ben and Jessa both about setting up parameters of what to do, what not to do, and really encourage them to make their own standards. because we didn't want to be like our rules and they're just doing what we tell them to do, but actually them setting up the rules and then all of us holding them accountable.
Our parents try a lot to be involved in our dating life, but
without much success.
Yeah, they aren't too involved. They don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
This is the 21st century. If you in a relationship with an individual, you in with that individual, not that family, and that including the father, the mother. And I think if people get that up front, me and my wife just had this conversation, a lot of families won't have issues. Let your family and their family know, stay out of your business. We don't need your help, but if you want to give me $25,000 for a wedding or $30,000, I'll take it.
Tonight, I have planned a special triple date.
Good to see ya.
See you too.
For all of the Duggar couples to get to know one another better.
Hey.
Hey, so this is Derek, huh?
This is Derek.
Yeah, nice to meet you finally.
Good to meet you.
Good to see ya.
You guys got to meet.
Hey, you guys look sharp.
Y'all look cute.
See you, Derek. Ben, hey, yeah.
So glad that you guys got to meet finally. What a wonderful time we are gonna have.
We went on a triple date with Jill and Derek and your parents, and we went to an etiquette class.
Pull out the chair for the young lady. And girls, you always enter from the left.
We encourage them to date with other people. I think it is important for them, especially as they're younger, to do it in groups.
And if you will look at your place setting, you always start from the outside and you work inward.
Is this a hint, Michelle? You're wanting to learn good manners?
I think we all can learn good manners.
These guys will start off on a good footing from the
They
beginning.
will, they will. I'm impressed that they're here.
That's right, yeah.
But we had some good times.
A chaperone is supposed to help the couple stick to their standards.
They make sure that while they're courting, they don't break the laws. Or else they would have to go to jail if you
A chaperone attending my dates? No, I don't like that at all.
They're there to just simply keep you in check. It's kind of like a referee in a game. Over the years, we've had a lot of questions about how we go about finding the one God has for us.
So we thought we'd share some of the Duggars' do's, don'ts, rules, and regulations for courtship, engagement, and marriage.
Don't go anywhere without a chaperone.
Now, when you say chaperones, is there an age group in there? I think, say, 16 and below, chaperones should be there so they don't do anything stupid. But once they're later and the teens getting closer to 20, no.
No. I think it's okay if you're 12.
A chaperone is supposed to help the couple stick to their standards and follow through with what they said they wanted to do in their relationship.
We thought we'd ask Ben and Jessa, and maybe Jana as a chaperone, to take the little ones to fast lanes.
I'm here mainly as Jess and Ben's chaperone. I may help out here and there with the kids, but this is more for Jess and Ben to get their experience because they're probably going to be here pretty soon. So I'm going to try to just stay back and just observe and let them, you know, have their time of wrangling these little ones.
It's neat to be a chaperone, and when one of the siblings asks you to come along and to be there, I think it's really special because they're letting you into that special place of where, you know, they have their alone time and stuff, but yet you're not necessarily listening to every conversation of theirs, but just getting to see how their relationship is kind of evolving.
Hey, babe. Ready to go?
Good to see you. Yeah,
Good to
ready.
see you.
Come on, James. Let's go.
Today I have a very special date planned for my sweet fiance. We're going on a hike for her birthday.
This will be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Today I am chaperoning Jill and Derek. For me, it's not awkward being a chaperone.
A chaperone attending my dates? No, I don't like that at all. No.
You never got to go hiking with me when I was in Nepal, so.
In general, chaperones are a good idea just because you want someone to hold you to the standards that you set and keep you accountable.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day with a beautiful girl. Good view.
Ready? Yeah. Let's go.
You know, they say two's company and three's your crowd, but we didn't really feel that way. I mean, we enjoyed having them with us.
I take it that I'm sitting in the middle.
I suppose. Unless we were in my truck, then it was kind of crowded.
I think this date might be just a little awkward.
It's a little tight.
Put
A little tight?
Put both feet over here so we can use the stick in the middle.
A chaperone is one that watches like engagement or courting person, but they don't watch a married person.
A chaperone is there to, I guess, to watch the people that are in love, so that way they don't kiss.
Yes, I would take a chaperone along on a date because I'm very, I don't know if I'm gonna say cocky, but I'm very confident, and I like to, you know, show off and stuff like that. So I would love to see, bring them along and show them what I do on my dates.
We had to explain our rules to our chaperones because, you know, I mean, people's relationships are all over the map. You have to, like, say, okay, here's what our rules are. Everybody knows, and they're not there to, like, tattletale on you or to say, oh, look, they didn't do it. No, they're there to just simply keep you in check. It's kind of like a referee in a game.
I believe that you should date with a chaperone just in case if anything goes too far, like the chaperone can step in and, like, you know, say, hey, let's cut this out.
I think it might be a little awkward. I would probably be the type of person where I'd be including the chaperone in a lot of the conversations, so I might not get to know the date as well, and I'd feel bad leaving somebody out.
A chaperone is somebody that comes with the people who are gonna get engaged or married. They make sure that while they're courting, they don't break the laws. Or else they would have to go to jail, I think.
It's been a lot of fun chaperoning for different siblings along the way. And I did a lot of that mainly for Ben and Jess.
Come on in.
From DC, you know, going on a trip with him there. A lot in Hot Springs. And sitting in the truck, his little truck, you know, riding in between them and just listening to their conversations and stuff. It was super sweet being there.
So yeah, Anna and I are planning to spend the night together. We're hoping to,
We had our own standards. Jess and Ben have had their own standards. Jill and Derek have had their own standards. And it's not about necessarily having the same rules, but having a pure heart before God and saying, hey, for us, what are the safeguards we need to set in place to make sure that we make it to the marriage altar pure? Because the goal is saving yourself for the one God has for you. And so, you know, it may look a little different for each couple, but the goal is the same.
Do you know what side hugs are?
Side?
This is a side hug. Wow!
A side hug is something you do when
you're
uncomfortable with the person.
Personally, I don't think I could hold off kissing someone.
I did not save my first kiss for marriage. No.
No, we did not. We didn't save anything for our wedding day.
Today, we're answering questions related to relationships, courtship, and saying I do. Do save the intimate side of your relationship for marriage.
Do you know what side hugs are? Have you heard of side hugs?
Side?
Side hugs. No, I haven't heard of them.
No.
I don't know what a side hug is.
So a side hug is where you're giving a person a hug from the side.
I will demonstrate.
Oh, that's awkward. A side hug is awkward. It's like that. Oh.
A side hug is something you do when
You're uncomfortable.
you're uncomfortable with the person.
This is a side hug. So see, a side hug is this. No, this is a side hug. Wow! Wow!
It's more of just like a friendly hug. It's not super romantic or anything. It's just a kind of like a greeting.
So good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
All right, guys. See you later.
Side hug is like this. Michael, Bill. Side hug. It's when you go like this and the other person puts his arm on that.
So when I was talking to my dad and I heard about the whole side hug thing with Jessa and Ben and Jill and Derek, I was like, side hug? Okay, you know? But to me, like, a hug is a hug is a hug, you know? Like, I don't get it. Like, in our relationship, we did a hug at engagement, and that was about it till we got married.
The intimacy standards that our children really have talked about for their courtships, they've decided that they're going to wait to have contact until they're married.
Holding hands, kissing prior to marriage. I think a person needs to know not only emotional chemistry, but there's a lot of chemistry involved in a relationship. So just simple kissing or holding hands to me is something I don't see no problem with, you know, prior to marriage.
All right, there we go. Okay, 1, 2.
When Derek returned from Nepal,
Well, they were so smitten with each other being there. You know, they've been waiting for so long.
They've been courting for 3
him
months
to
without
come
seeing each other.
back. Yeah. And so when they ran to greet each other with the side hug, they accidentally both went
Missed
the
a little
wrong
bit.
direction, and it was.
Met in the middle.
But unfortunately, I couldn't go like that. She died.
I think intentions were to do a side hug, but I think they both were caught off guard.
It was an act of love, and they're both innocent.
It was above reproach. It really was.
If I wasn't allowed to have any physical contact, not even holding hands or side kisses or hugging, yeah, that would drive me crazy.
No holding hands or kissing or anything like that.
Just because a lot of times guys are stimulated by that physical, you know, you want to like put a good boundary there.
Physical contact is extremely important, and being able to get that and give that and kind of feel that in the relationship, I think really can enhance the relationship emotionally.
No kissing, no hugging, the front hug, and then like no doing things that aren't good to do it whenever it's time to court.
A lot of couples, when they get engaged, you know, they might seal the deal with a kiss or something. We were trying to save that for our wedding day. Tessa Lauren? Will you marry me?
Yes.
Guess we can hold hands now. But what we did do is start holding hands.
It's sort of like that dating versus courting thing. I don't know if I'm attracted to you immediately. I don't know if we're gonna be able to mesh well. I don't know if your palms are too sweaty and it's gonna bother me for the rest of my life, which could be complete turnoff. But I don't wanna get married and then find out that you've got weird hands.
Anna, will you marry me? The difference between our courtship and our engagement and setting standards, I mean, we kind of talk through the basics, like, hey, we want to hold hands once we're engaged. And here's sort of the boundaries that we're going to keep through the entire relationship up till we get married. And we knew we were going to save our first kiss for our wedding day. So I think we had it pretty set from the beginning.
Physical intimacy doesn't have to wait until you're married.
I couldn't imagine spending my life without you. It would be an honor to serve God with you for the rest of my life. Jill Duggar, would you marry me?
Yes, totally.
I love you so much.
Goodness. You're too sweet.
Oh my word. So we wanted to save our first kiss for our wedding day just because it's such a big part of physical intimacy. And we said pretty early on that that's what we wanted to do.
Saving my first kiss for my wedding day, I think, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, yeah, 100%. I think I would have saved my first kiss and everything for my wedding.
I would say 2 years is a good amount of time for a couple to date before they get engaged.
Don't take too long getting to the altar once you're engaged. I think this is the dress. It's hard if you're trying to save the physical side for marriage. Why wait for forever?
Get her done.
Today we're answering questions related to relationships, courtship, and saying I do.
I would say 2 years is a good amount of time for a couple to date before they get engaged.
Don't take too long getting to the altar once you're engaged.
We met each other over the phone, and we courted each other over the phone for many months, like 7 months, 6 or 7 months. And then we met, and then shortly after we met, I asked her to marry me.
Derek started talking to my dad, and they became prayer partners in 2012. And then my dad introduced us. We started talking, video conferencing a lot. And then 4 months later, we met in person. And then 2 months later, he came back from Nepal. And then 3 months after that, we got engaged. 3 months after that, we got married. And a month after that, we found out we're expecting.
I think you need to go through all 4 seasons before you get engaged.
I think that couples should wait at least 6 months before they decide to get engaged.
Even though we started courting about a month or 2 before Jill and Derek, they ended up getting married before us, which kind of seemed like that would happen anyway because they were both a little bit older and Derek was pretty established in his job and everything, and had a lot in savings, and so there were a few steps ahead of us there, but we weren't too far behind.
These days and times, kids are so fast, and he just needs to take his time, enjoy being a kid, being a young adult, and, and not rush it. That way the marriage lasts when he does find the right person.
When engagement comes, that's the point where both have discerned this is the person that I'm gonna marry. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with this person. Yes, this is the one. And when that comes to that point in the relationship, they're getting engaged, then really it's planning the wedding.
Do you all want a church wedding? Do you want outdoor wedding, a certain location? Are you going to have the whole family in the wedding as far as the wedding party? Do you want outdoor reception? Could be too windy or it could be snowing. We needed those like yesterday.
Okay, I don't know what I'm doing.
How's the tux?
We haven't found that yet. We're gonna go get that.
Well, you see.
Okay, what day are we on, guys? 42.
Well, that means that I got at least 41 days to figure out the text.
Do you have someone to do your ceremony?
I think he's out of country, till right before the wedding.
But what if he's not even ordained in the first place?
Today we're wedding venue shopping, and Michelle is coming with us as our chaperone.
I'm really excited that she gets to come along today.
Let's start this way. I'd love to show you some of our outside areas.
I'm very familiar with Cross Church. My parents were actually married there.
Glad to see you again.
Good to see you. So I'm familiar with it, but it'll be different going there to look at it as a place that I may be getting married. It is very hard, just like anybody could imagine, dating, courting, whatever. It's hard if you're trying to save the physical side for marriage, and because you have that natural attraction. And so I do think that's one reason why people who would date with a purpose and want to keep that physical side for marriage, or if they're courting, that's why their relationships might be a little shorter too, is they got that motivation.
I would not save my first kiss with the girl I'm dating to my wedding day. Absolutely not.
Personally, I don't think I could hold off kissing someone.
I did not save my first kiss for marriage.
No.
No, we did not.
We did not.
We didn't save anything for our wedding day.
The first kiss on the first date, it's unrealistic to think someone gonna wait till their wedding day to kiss.
We drove all night, which was wonderful. Everybody slept except Daddy and John David, who took turns driving. And we arrived here at 8:30 Florida time.
I am thrilled my family's able to make it. They brought the bus down, and I think it's gonna be a blast. There's lots of action been going on. Stuff's been just crazy with all the little kids. I mean, just traveling with the Duggars on the road is one thing, but when you're going to a wedding, just all the logistics. I mean, we got family members here, we've got friends here. Lots of details. I knew Anna was the one, the first time I met her. It was really weird. All of a sudden, I just met her, and I was like, this is the girl you're gonna marry. And I don't know, I had this, maybe it was just like a dream.
This church is amazing. There's decorations going up. Josh and Anna are doing the last minute planning and making sure everything fits.
All right, y'all gonna practice the prelude?
Once you commit to marrying someone and you know for sure this is the one for you, I don't see why you would want to drag it out just to plan a wedding.
There's people taking care of all the reception details, people taking care of all the rehearsal stuff. Everything's going all right. So Anna's in here ironing, and I'm playing the piano.
Traditionally, the bride does not let the groom see her the entire day of the wedding, but we're not getting married till 7 p.m. And that's a long time.
Our goal is to remain pure before marriage. And that includes abstinence and saving our first kiss. I'll get back on the piano.
You guys seriously haven't kissed?
For real?
Seriously. Seriously, for real, we have not kissed at all.
Saving your first kiss until your wedding day is a little bit unrealistic nowadays.
I think saving a first kiss would be cool, but that's kind of impossible these days. I don't know.
Josh? Josh, you may kiss the bride.
And that ceremony was so amazing, and everyone was waiting for it. And it was like that moment where everyone knew we'd saved our first kiss for our wedding day.
I would like to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Joshua James Duggar.
No. A girl should not save her first kiss for marriage.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
No,
I can't see saving a first kiss until they're married.
not till you're married. I think you need to kiss each other to find out if there's anything there, any attraction there.
If you are trying to save the physical aspect of your relationship for marriage, if you're trying to do that, then it wouldn't be as wise to have a really long engagement and put yourself in a difficult situation.
It is my great privilege to present to you for the very, very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin Michael Seawald.
We decided to have our first kiss in private. And the reason for that was we didn't want everyone to be critiquing our kiss necessarily and like focusing on that so much. We wanted them to focus on the wedding itself and what it symbolizes and not just go away thinking, wow, that was quite a kiss.
I didn't save my first kiss till marriage. It was, no.
I didn't save my first kiss for marriage. I would love to have that fairy tale, you know, but it's just in real life, just really happened that way.
We weren't really nervous about kissing for the first time in front of so many people. We had talked about it a little bit, but we knew that we would have a lot of time to practice after that, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
You may kiss the bride.
It's my honor to present to you Mr. and Mrs. Derek Michael Dillard.
Once you say yes, why wait for forever? I just say get it done.
Once they are getting engaged, they know that they're the one for each other, and it's going to be hard to hold them back. And it's great to have a short engagement so that you don't stretch this out and defraud each other physically.
Get her done.
It usually doesn't take long before a baby carriage is on the way.
I think they will start having kids as soon as possible.
You have joined the mommy team.
We had taken a couple pregnancy tests earlier, and it was positive yesterday.
Today we're sharing the Duggar Guide to Love. Do be prepared to be a parent and expect that babies could be right around the corner.
We planned to wait 5 years to have our first child. However, 2 weeks after our wedding, we were blessed with a child with the pregnancy.
Definitely if you save your first kiss and everything else for your wedding day and you desire to have a big family, it usually doesn't take long before a baby carriage is on the way.
I think they will start having kids as soon as possible.
I will actually wait like a year or so to have kids because I kind of want to get settled into my life first and then I'll have some kids.
We had taken several pregnancy tests before and they had always been negative. And so it was disappointing because I had my hopes that maybe this time, we're pregnant and then it would be negative.
So this is our 4th month of marriage, and so Anna was to the point where she said, I don't want to know.
Yeah, how about if I take it and leave it in there and let you see it? You have to wait 3 minutes because I don't know, I've been disappointed so many times. I don't want to be disappointed again.
It'll be fine, sweetie.
I don't want to have kids right after I'm married because I want to travel a lot.
We want to
travel a lot.
So I told Joshua I would take the test and leave it in the restroom, and then we would wait 3 minutes like you're supposed to, and then he would go in and look at it, and whenever he felt like it, he could tell me what the test said.
Hey, sweetie. Come here, we can have a little talk. I have some news for you.
What?
You have joined the mommy team.
Oh, baby! Oh!
You're pregnant.
We are?
You're pregnant.
Baby! For real?
For real.
It took a little while for it to actually sink in that, wow, we're gonna be parents.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Daddy.
We have a little announcement to make. As of yesterday, we found out that we are expecting. You're gonna be grandparents.
I just cried. I just was so excited. And I think it's still sinking in.
It's very possible that not long after marriage, the pitter-patter of little feet will be soon to follow. How are we gonna tell your family tonight?
I think they have Bible time every night, so it might be good to like just drop in there.
Since they're all
They'll
together
already
anyway.
be together, then we can just get there, just come right out and say we have something to tell y'all, something to share with you, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look who's here. Hey, guys.
Y'all having Bible time?
Hey, hop up here for a second.
You guys?
Good to see you, son.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Well, are you guys already finished Bible time? Sorry we're late.
Well, yesterday I kind of took something.
From the bathroom.
Yeah, like, well, I took something out of her bathroom cabinet and
We just wanted to, we had taken a couple pregnancy tests earlier, and it was positive yesterday. so we're expecting.
No way! Are you serious?
Thank you.
This is so 30 days into your marriage, you find out you're actually.
Tomorrow's our 1-month anniversary.
I am so thrilled about being a grandma again. I just love being a grandma. And I think it'll be really fun to watch Jill as she goes through each stage of her pregnancy.
Mama, our family is expanding.
So exciting.
We are so happy.
I think our children that have gotten married so far, their desire has been to start a family. And so they want to receive whatever gifts God wants to give them. And shortly after they're married, there's probably going to be a sweet little baby coming along if
Well,
that's
a love bundle.
meant to be.
Yeah, hey, hey, hey.